What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to KO with Kyle. I'm your host, Kyle. Today we'll be recapping UFC 256, Deveison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno, and forecasting the upcoming UFC fight night, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Geoff Neal. There's a lot to break down, so without any further ado, let's get into it. The last pay-per-view of the year delivered big time. Both the prelims and the main card had great fights. The main event between Figueiredo and Moreno is in contention for fight of the year. There were several dominant TKO finishes. So let's start with the prelims. First up at featherweight, we had Chase Hooper versus Peter Barrett. Barrett was attacking the lead leg of Hooper with leg kicks right above the knee. Barrett was doing well on the feet early, so Hooper tried rolling into leg submission attempts, like an Imanari roll. In round 3, Hooper rolled on a leg again and slowly worked his jiu-jitsu into deeper and deeper control of the leg. Chase Hooper won by heel hook submission in round 3. Hooper continues to struggle with his striking, but the ground game is impressive. Next at strawweight, we had Tecia Torres versus Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes was a promotional newcomer who took the fight on short notice. Torres had a furious pace, unloading shots. Sam Hughes tried clinching against the cage, but Torres damaged her eye. In between rounds, Hughes told her corner that she couldn't see, and the fight was stopped and ruled a TKO win for Tecia Torres. Torres looked good in her last 2 fights and will likely get a top 10 opponent her next fight. Next at featherweight, we had Gavin Tucker versus Billy Quarantillo. Quarantillo was throwing front kicks to the body early. It was back and forth with both throwing high volume of strikes. Gavin Tucker started getting the better of Quarantillo round 2 and started landing takedowns. In round 3, Tucker had landed 7 takedowns total. The fight went the distance, and the judges scored it a unanimous decision win for Gavin Tucker. I had underestimated Tucker, and I won't do that again. Next at lightweight, we had Renato Moicano versus Rafael Fiziev. Moicano was holding his own early, but Fiziev's speed advantage was on display. Late in round 1, Fiziev landed a combination of strikes that finished Moicano by TKO. Some say it was an early stoppage, but Moicano was hurt and in trouble. It was a dominant win by Fiziev, who earned a Performance of the Night bonus. In the featured prelim, we had Cub Swanson versus Daniel Pineda. Leg kicks from Pineda early attacked Swanson's recently healed knee. Swanson hurt Pineda at the end of round 1. Early into round 2, Swanson continued with strikes that finished Pineda by TKO. Cub Swanson won as an underdog after recovering from an injury, so congrats to him. Starting off the main card at heavyweight, we had Cyril Gane versus Junior Dos Santos. Gane was throwing kicks, kicking the lead leg. Halfway through round 2, Gane had Dos Santos against the cage. Dos Santos was hurt and turned away from an elbow from Gane that landed right on the ear and knocked out Dos Santos. Dos Santos protested that it was an illegal strike to the back of the head, but it landed on his ear and he turned away from it. Gane was the heavy favorite coming in, and he got a big win by finishing a ranked opponent. Next at middleweight, we had Kevin Holland versus Jacare Souza. Jacare got a takedown early. Holland was threatening submissions from his back, and then he started striking from his back. Holland rocked Jacare and was able to stand up and rain blows to finish the fight. Kevin Holland knocked out Jacare from his back and earned a Performance of the Night bonus and his 5th consecutive win in 2020. Next at strawweight, we had Mackenzie Dern versus Virna Jandiroba. Both were jiu-jitsu specialists, so oddly enough, it turned into a striking match. It mostly stayed on the feet throughout the 3 rounds. Dern had the striking advantage. A knee from Jandiroba cut the top of Dern's nose. The fight went the distance, and the judges scored it a unanimous decision win for Mackenzie Dern. We have seen Dern's jiu-jitsu credentials, but her striking looked much improved. In the co-main event at lightweight, we had Tony Ferguson versus Charles Oliveira. Oliveira got a takedown early and transitioned into full mount, and almost finished Ferguson with an armbar in round 1. In round 2, he got another takedown, and in round 3, Oliveira got his third takedown and transitions into full mount again. At no point in the fight was Ferguson able to get off much offense or attack from the ground from his back. The fight went the distance. The judges scored it a unanimous decision win for Charles Oliveira. In the main event, we had Deveison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno did a much better job than the Vegas odds makers predicted. A lot of people thought this fight would finish early. Figueiredo was outstriking Moreno round 1. Round 2 was close, could have scored either way. In round 3, there was a bad groin strike that hurt Moreno badly. The ref, Jason Herzog, deducted 1 point from Figueiredo, so it was likely a 9-9 round. Moreno looked good in round 4 as Figueiredo was starting to gas. Round 5, Figueiredo hurt Moreno's arm with blocked kicks, and Moreno threw very little strikes round 5. The fight went the distance, and the judges scored it a majority draw. It was the last pay-per-view of the year, but this fight became a contender for Fight of the Year. In Kyle's fight picks from last week's card, we went 2 out of 4. Next, we will start the forecast for UFC Fight Night Stephen Thompson versus Geoff Neal. There are 7 fights in the main card. Some will change and some will drop off because of COVID, but these were the originally scheduled 7 fights. Starting off the main card at welterweight, we have Anthony Pettis versus Alex Moreno. Pettis is a former UFC lightweight champ. Pettis is 23-10 professionally, with 3 losses in his last 5 fights. Pettis has been fighting bigger names and higher ranked opponents. Moreno has 4 wins in his last 5 fights. He's coming off a unanimous decision win over Reese McKee. I'm picking Moreno. Next at women's flyweight, we have Jillian Robertson versus Taila Santos. Robertson is 9-4 professionally with 6 wins by submission. Robertson has 4 wins in her last 5 fights. Santos is 16-1 professionally. Santos' only loss was a split decision. I expect this fight to go the distance. I'm picking Jillian Robertson. Next at heavyweight, we have Greg Hardy versus Marcin Tybura. Tybura has 3 fights and 3 wins in 2020 so far. Hardy has 2 fights, 2 wins in 2020. Tybura is 20-6 professionally. Hardy is 7-2 with 1 no contest, and one of the losses was due to an illegal knee. Vegas odds have Tybura as the slight favorite. I'm picking Marcin Tybura and the over 2.5 rounds. Next at bantamweight, we have Marlon Moraes versus Rob Font. Moraes has 3 Performance of the Night bonuses. Font has 2 Performance of the Night bonuses and 1 Fight of the Night. Moraes won a close split decision against Jose Aldo, but they gave Aldo the title shot. Most recently, Moraes lost to Corey Sandhagen by TKO. Moraes is 23-7 and 1 draw. Font is 17-4 professionally. I'm picking Rob Font and the over 2.5 rounds. Next at welterweight, we have Michel Pereira versus Chaos Williams. Pereira has 1 Fight of the Night and 2 Performance of the Night bonuses in his 4 UFC fights. Williams has 2 first-round finishes in his 2 UFC fights. Pereira is 24-11 with 2 no contests professionally. Williams is 11-1 professionally. I'm picking Chaos Williams, and the under 1.5 rounds is likely. In our co-main event at bantamweight, we have Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vera. Jose Aldo is a former UFC featherweight champ. Aldo was on an 18-fight win streak before losing to Conor McGregor in December of 2015. Aldo has the most title defenses in featherweight history. He recently dropped down to bantamweight. Aldo has 4 Fight of the Nights and 2 Performance of the Night bonuses. Vera has 4 wins in his last 5 fights. Vera is 10 wins and 5 losses in the UFC. Aldo has 10 wins and 6 losses in the UFC, but he has fought champions. I think Vera will do surprisingly well, but I'm picking Jose Aldo. In our main event at welterweight, we have Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Geoff Hands of Steel Neal. Thompson is 15-4-1 professionally. Neal is 13-2. Neal has 5 fights in the UFC, 5 wins, and 4 finishes. Neal got a round 1 TKO on Dana White's Contender Series to earn a contract. Wonderboy fought to a draw with welterweight champ Tyron Woodley. Wonderboy has 3 losses in his last 5 fights, although one was a controversial decision in England versus Darren Till. I think this fight will be close, but I'm picking Geoff Neal. Kyle's Fight Picks. In Kyle's Fight Picks, I have Alex Moreno, Jillian Robertson, Marcin Tybura, Rob Font, Chaos Williams, Jose Aldo, and Geoff Neal. I have a fight spotlight out for this main event, so please subscribe so you never miss an episode. And until next time, fight fans, peace.